Cycles repeat and reinforce. And the only way to break a cycle is to start a new cycle, to start a new behavior to replace the old behavior.
That long-awaited payday finally arrives, and it's time to pay the bills, fill up the gas tank, and maybe buy some pizza. But before you know it, that paycheck is gone, and you're already struggling to make it to the next payday. Now you're left wondering how you're going to be able to break the cycle of financial stress. If this is you, you're not alone. In fact, according to a LendingClub report, 61% of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck as of June 2023. In this video, I'll share tips from Dave Ramsey on how you can stop living from paycheck to paycheck. Let's get started. 1. Get on a budget.
And so a written budget, a detailed budget, will make you feel like you've gotten a raise.
According to Dave Ramsey, the first thing to do is to track where your money goes every month. This isn't about having an idea of it. It's about knowing exactly where it is going, down to the last cent. If not, it's time to start budgeting. Trying to reach your financial goals without a budget is like driving cross-country without a map. It's hard to be sure you're moving in the right direction. Start a budget by listing your income and subtracting your monthly expenses, starting from the essentials. The essentials are food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. These should be the top priorities in your budget. After that, you can start listing other things in order of importance. The goal is to understand how much you're bringing in every month and how much you're shelling out. From there, you can gain insight into areas where you can cut back. Whether you're shelling out more than you realize for unused streaming services, dropping $100 a week on takeout, or spending a fortune on a big energy bill, trust me, you'll notice bad spending habits you don't even realize you had. Once you've tracked your spending by creating a budget, you can control your money, stop living paycheck to paycheck, and plan for the future. According to Ramsey, having a detailed budget will make you feel like you've gotten a raise. In a survey conducted by Bankrate Incorporated in 2015, the result of which is shown on the chart, 82% of Americans kept a household budget. However, only 36% of those surveyed used a pen and paper. In comparison, 18% kept information in their heads, and 26% used a computer program or smartphone app. Another way to think about budgeting is that it's a custom organization system for your money. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, your money could use some organization, so don't put it off. Create your first budget, like right now. 2. Stay away from debt.
That's when people change their lives. You can wander into debt, darling. You cannot wander out. You have to get pissed off about your status quo. I make too much to be this freaking broke.
Debt can feel like a trap, a seemingly inescapable cycle that keeps you financially stuck. If you've racked up thousands in credit card debt, student loan debt, or car payments, it might feel like you can't get out from underneath it. Add high interest rates and a struggling credit score, and you might feel like the task is insurmountable. As of 2019, the credit card debt in the United States is around $4 trillion. With all debts combined, American consumers are about $13.67 trillion in debt, as shown in the graph. That's a huge deficit. In perspective, it would take an average American household making $50,000 around 270.2 million years to pay off American consumer debt alone. While it might feel overwhelming, there is a way out. The first step is to limit or cancel your credit cards. Massive credit card debt may be due to consumer overspending, so it's important to consolidate your credit card debt where possible. Credit card debt can seriously affect your fiscal future if it becomes insurmountable. Plus, a credit card utilization rate that is too high can cause damage to your credit score. Next, stop taking on any new debt. Don't take out a new car loan or open a new credit card. Say no to that buy now, pay later plan. This kind of plan, which is marketed as an easier way to pay for purchases over time, is experiencing a rise nowadays. They're even on food delivery apps. But the fact is that these plans often come with high interest rates and fees, making it harder to pay off the debt. Also, pay off whatever debt you owe. You can see how much you can afford to put towards debt repayment using your budget. The trick is to pay a little extra each month without spreading yourself too thin. This can be achieved with the debt snowball method. In practice, all these steps might look like sacrificing your morning Starbucks for a drip coffee at home or a Keurig cup at the office. You can take any extra money saved from non-essentials and put that cash towards knocking out debt. Just think of how much money goes into monthly debt repayment. That's how much extra you can have in your budget when your debt is gone. 3. Limit unnecessary spending.
I will tell you that 90% of what you spend in the restaurant, the money is spent on entertainment. 10% is your actual food cost.
Yeah.
So go home and make some
stuff.
Even if you don't have a debt on your neck, cutting back on non-essential purchases is a great way to stop living paycheck to paycheck. It may be hard to admit that you're making unnecessary purchases. Once we start buying things and bringing them into our lives, it becomes very easy to no longer imagine life without them, and we start to consider them essential. However, look at your typical weekly expenses and consider how many of those purchases are essential and how many are not. How many items like new clothes or eating out could you do without? How much money could you save by making more meals at home or cutting back on coffee shop runs? Eating out is the biggest money-eating activity an individual engages in. According to Ramsey, 90% of what is spent in restaurants is spent on entertainment and 10% on food costs. This shows that eating out is a no-necessity purchase. Also, consider the amount you spend on your cell phone plan, and consider researching alternatives, such as less expensive options. For example, some companies offer no contract plans cheaper monthly than a contract. Also, take a look at your data usage every month on average. If you're paying for unlimited usage, but only use around 5 gigabytes per month, you could save a lot of money with a cheaper plan. I'm not saying you should ditch your social life and go full mode on miserly recluse, but life is about balance. Whatever you like to do, you're going to have a hard time breaking out of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle if you're spending extra cash every week on takeout from the Thai place down the street, not to mention shopping online, collecting vintage guitar pedals, trying new video game subscriptions, or whatever your passions are. 4. Find a way to increase your income.
The number one wealth building tool that you have is your income.
If you set a budget and reduced your spending, but are still barely able to make ends meet, you probably need to find a way to increase your income. If you're a freelancer, consider taking more clients or increasing your rates. You can do this by adding more value to the service you provide. Remember, most people will pay a little more for a better experience. If you're an hourly worker, you should consider taking longer hours or extra shifts if you can. You can also get a second or third job according to your availability, or you can look for a better paying job altogether. You can also consider side hustles. A tried and true part-time job is still viable, but working as a barista or server tends to come with a more rigid schedule. If you want to work on your terms, consider driving as an Uber or Lyft driver, getting some hours at your local theater as a stagehand, or working for Instacart grabbing items at your local grocery store. In addition, asking for a raise at work is a surefire way to make more money. Have you been crushing it at work lately? You might consider asking for a raise depending on how long you've been employed. While it can be a hard task to do, it can be well worth it. According to a report from payscale.com, while only 37% of survey respondents had asked for a raise, among those who did, a whopping 70% got one, with 39% of them getting as much as they'd asked for. Of those denied raises, 49% said it was budgetary. Still, only 22% said no rationale was provided for the refusal, as shown in this graph. To be in the category of this 70%, there are a few things to keep in mind while asking for a raise, with the most important being timing. Did your company recently go through layoffs? Is it currently struggling with a slow season? Timing is everything. Make sure you ask when you know things are lined up in your favor. You might also want to try for a promotion if you're ready to jump to the next level. Consider showing your boss how you've been successful, scheduling a time to chat, and showing them you're ready for the next step. Whatever you choose, the point is to get more cash into your budget. And once you get some more money in savings and kick debt out of your way, you can let off the gas a little. Or maybe you want to keep hustling towards your other savings goals like a house, your kids' college funds, or your retirement. 5. Have an emergency fund.
An emergency fund turns a crisis into an inconvenience. It's worth getting one.
If you don't have any savings in an emergency, you'll want to get the ball rolling as soon as possible. An emergency fund, even if it's only a small amount, is a great way to stop living paycheck to paycheck and protect your finances when unexpected expenses, such as car repairs or medical bills, come up. Start by opening a savings account with your bank if you haven't already. You can create one with the same bank that operates your checking account. Then, automatically route a certain amount into your savings account from every paycheck, even if it's just $25 or $50. Here's a hypothetical example showing how to assemble an emergency fund. Let's say a married couple has monthly expenses totaling $5,000. This includes the couple's mortgage payments, food bills, car payments, and other necessary outlays. Using the 3-month rule, the couple must set aside at least $15,000 or $30,000 for 6 months and $40,000 for 8 months to address any unexpected financial burdens. Note that emergency funds must be available when you need them. That means not locking them up in accounts that charge you to access your money, or keeping them in an account you'll be tempted to tap for everyday expenses. Having some extra money saved means you won't have to turn to high-interest debt to handle a few bumps in the road. Instead, you'll have a financial cushion to fall back on. 6. Use windfalls of cash wisely. Sometimes we're presented with a happy cash injection when we least expect it. Whether you pick the long shot at the Kentucky Derby with $2 on 3,000 over 1 odds, your great aunt left you a few $100, or you got a healthy refund from the IRS, your first objective shouldn't be spending it lavishly, either by ordering a pizza or buying your favorite game. Instead, exercise some money management skills and redirect that cash windfall wisely. What part of your financial situation could use that extra cash? Is your savings account looking bare? Do you want to pay more than the minimum payment on your credit cards? Paying off debt can lower your monthly payments to make ends meet more easily. That can do a lot for your finances in the long run. Find yourself in a good position with your current obligations. You can also take the windfall of cash and find a way to invest. 401k, IRAs, mutual funds, and ETFs are all great avenues. Remember, it's never too early to start saving for retirement. 7. Invest in your knowledge and pocket. In addition to all the previously mentioned tips, investing is another way to break the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. By investing your savings, no matter how small they are, in stocks, shares, or a business, you can earn a return on your money that will grow over time. The more you save and invest, the more financial security you'll have. Take, for example, a daily $5 latte from Starbucks Corp. If you were to forego the latte and instead invest that $5 per day in the stock market, you could see a significant return on your investment. Over 5 years, that daily $5 could grow to over $11,000. And if you continue to invest that $5 for the next 50 years, you could have over $800,000 just by making your coffee at home. The chart shows it better. Of course, risks are always involved with any investment, so it's important to research and consult with a financial advisor before making any decisions. Apart from this, you can also invest in your financial knowledge. Getting financial education on how to earn money, scale income, or manage investments can not only help you earn more, but it can also help you grow and protect your wealth. To do this, you can start with free content about financial education on YouTube, read books, or invest in coaching sessions. 8. Remember your why. Lastly, and most importantly, you need to remember why you're on the path. Stopping paycheck to paycheck is a very hard job, just as that kind of lifestyle is hard. It can be slow. It can be hard. Some days, you might want to give up. But during all these instances, remember your why, and that's why your why must be strong enough for you to try until you become free from that type of lifestyle. Your why might be a long-term goal, like saving for retirement or giving your children a better life. Or it might be something shorter term, like having peace of mind and knowing you won't have to worry about overdraft fees or declined cards. Whatever your why is, hold on to it and use it to drive you forward when things get difficult. Remember what you're working toward the next time you find yourself working extra hours, delivering groceries, or skipping that new pair of shoes. Remember your ultimate goal. If it helps, visualize yourself in the future, living the life you want to live. Remember that the small sacrifices you're making now will lead to big rewards later. Budgeting, saving, getting rid of debt, increasing your income, any steps you take to get rid of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle isn't easy. But putting yourself on solid financial footing can also alleviate the stress that comes with falling short month after month. And these tips do exactly that. Which of these tips are you going to implement in your lifestyle? Let me know in the comments section. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more financial tips. See you in the next one.